Today we are going to clean my EHEIM Ecco Pro 300 canister filter. It's not a particularly large or powerful filter. It's designed for fish tanks up to 250 liters, so preferably below 250 liters. So it has about 2 liters something capacity. It's a medium range, medium sized canister filter, but it's very powerful and it works really well. I've had it for probably 8 months and yeah, I'm very happy with it. I service it usually once per month, so it's been a month since it's been cleaned last time, and this is what we're going to do right now. So first we're going to switch off inlet pipe, which is this one. Yep. Next we're going to turn it off completely. I just need to figure out what's... Oh, just use it like this. And we'll switch it off. Then we're going to switch off outlet pipe. Alright. And we're going to disconnect both pipes from the filter. So they always leak a bit, but that's fine. You have to remember to block both of these pipes before you disconnect them from the filter, or otherwise the water will be flowing from either of the pipes under the pressure and it will flood your room. So we're going to take it out. It's quite heavy when it's full of water. So in order to open it, we'll have to push the handle backwards, like so. Then we can remove the head. Sometimes it's a bit tight. Here it is. So it's quite dirty. It's to be cleaned. First we have to remove this pre-filter part. Yeah, it has quite a lot of muck. And then we'll remove the media, which is always a bit of a struggle. We'll clean this separately. It has quite a lot of muck as well. So in the upper part of this canister container there is a space up here which I filled with this EHEIM Pro substrate media, just because it's an empty space and it's good to have it filled with something. So essentially it looks like this, and there is a handle so you can lift this whole thing up much easier, but for me it's a bit harder because I've had some substrate in there. So first of all, I've got here the sponge, and it's quite dirty. I'll probably have to replace it. Yeah, it's dirty and it's falling apart. So the first tray is filled with EHEIM Substrate Pro. This kind of small pieces like this, and it looks relatively clean. I'll put this all into the tank water, because if you put your media into the tap water you're likely to kill all of your beneficial bacteria. The second tray, yeah, they're a bit tight, it's filled with EHEIM Mech. It's a mechanical filtration media, and it's relatively dirty. It's not too dirty. Both of these types of media, they came together with the filter. So the third and the final tray, I have some sponge on it, and it's really dirty, so it needs to be cleaned. It's filled with a mixture of things. Well, originally there was just a coarse sponge on the bottom of this tray. I removed it and I filled it with a mixture of alpha grog substrate. It's a porous ceramic media, and I will have a separate video reviewing this particular media. It's mixed with EHEIM Ecco small ceramic rings, and essentially it doesn't really have anything apart from these two types of media. These two sponges I'm gonna clean in the tank water. So we're going to clean the head of the filter. It's covered with lots of muck and lots of dirt. You can see it's all over the place. You don't have to worry that the water will get inside the filter head, because it's blocked, so it's not gonna be inside. So next we're going to remove this part here. It usually gets really dirty as well. So in here we got the impeller area, and impeller always needs to be cleaned because it's always dirty. You have to be really careful with impeller, because if you damage the ceramic part, it's gonna get noisy or it's not gonna work at all, and you'll have to buy a replacement, and very often they're quite expensive. So impeller requires specific care. As you can see, it's quite dirty. It has lots of stuff sticking to it. So to clean inside of the impeller area as well as pipes, I will use this brush. This is actually just an ordinary Chinese made brush to clean bottles and things like that. I've had an original EHEIM brush, but I found it much less comfortable than this one, so that's what I usually do. When you're cleaning the impeller area, there is this soft rubber ball inside one of these parts, so you have to be careful not to lose it. So don't forget to put this rubber ball back, and this red part as well. It has a particular way how it fits in here, like this. So next we're going to put the impeller back. You have to hold it while you put it back, because it's just gonna jump in there. And the cover. It has to click so that you know that it's actually closed. So next I'm going to clean the pre-filter. It's quite straightforward, you just wash it. So as you can see, it's quite a coarse foam. It only catches really large pieces of rubbish from your fish tank. In my case, that's a lot of roots from terrestrial plants. Next we're going to clean media baskets with media. So I'm using here water from my tank. It's not a tap water. Essentially I have to do something like that. Yeah, and it's clean. Next one. Sometimes I just dig a bit deeper to check if it's clean inside, and yes, it's good. And for the last media bucket, I will have to close it because I've got too much media in here, and I will simply lose it if I'll shake it. So I'll do something like that. Then we'll open and check it. Yeah, it seems clean. So the canister has been cleaned, and now I will put everything back together. I'll put the sponges like so, and then I'll put the next tray. Essentially it's quite easy to connect the trays like this. You have to make sure that you connect them properly, otherwise when you lift them everything is gonna fall apart. It has happened to me a couple of times. And the last layer of sponge. Well connected. I'll put it back inside the canister. Now I will add this extra media which I put in this space here. This space here. Well, it doesn't have to be here, and it's not the manufacturer's design to actually keep any media, but it's just an empty space, and I want to get it filled with media. In total, this filter holds 2 kg of media, which is enough to provide a full cycle of filtration for a 200-liter tank, which is about 60 or less than 60 US gallons. So by full cycle I mean converting ammonia into nitrite and nitrite into nitrate. I try to get all my canisters as full with media as possible, because the more media you have, obviously the more bacteria you will be able to host in your canisters, and the more beneficial for your fish it's going to be. And we'll put the pre-filter back like so. Now it's all cleaned and assembled, and the last thing to do is to put the head back. Yeah, you just have to watch out for these places here, so the parts have to fit together. Yes. Then you have to move the handle up in order to lock it, like so. It's locked now. So it's also important to clean the pipes. These are just the standard EHEIM 12 to 16 millimeter pipes that come with this canister, and they get clogged quite easily. So if you're cleaning your canister, you shouldn't forget to clean the pipes. If your pipes are clogged, if they're blocked with algae and all other stuff, it will obviously weaken your flow and it will slow down your filter. So once everything is cleaned and you have connected hoses to your canister, you need to prime it. And in case of EHEIM Ecco Pro, priming is quite straightforward and easy. Essentially, this handle is its priming mechanism. So in order to prime it, you have to pull it down. Not all the way down, but just to this red button and back. You can hear it's filling up now. If you didn't get the sound of water flowing down the pipes, it means it hasn't primed. So you'll have to move this handle back down again one more time or a few more times, but I've been successful from the first time, and in my experience it usually takes just one take to get it primed. So just one move down and it's ready. So the next thing, it's primed. Next thing we have to do is to turn it on. Obviously it has a lot of bubbles inside, so you can hear that sound of bubbles being trapped inside the canister. It might take it a while to get the bubbles out. Usually it doesn't take longer than 15 minutes, sometimes half an hour, but you shouldn't do anything, you shouldn't touch it. It's just going to do the job itself. So you can see actually it tries to get all the bubbles out, so there will be lots of bubbles coming out of outflow. So it might take it a while to get all the bubbles out and to stop producing these sounds, but it will eventually get there. So yeah, I hope this video was useful, and please leave your comments in the comment sections, and don't forget to click the subscribe buttons. There will be more videos of filter cleanings, of cleaning my other canister filters. So yeah, until the next video.